Good evening, Zimbabwe. The land where politics is a full-time job, honesty is part-time, and everything else runs on hope and hustle. Tonight, our story begins with the Zimbabwe Congress of Trade Unions. Yes, the same ZCTU that used to shout about workers' rights but now seems to be warming up for a political campaign. The new Secretary General, Tirivan Marimo, has been accused of secretly teaming up with Job Sikhala to organize anti-government demonstrations. You'd think fighting for better wages was already hard enough, but apparently Marimo wants to fight the whole system while he's at it. ZANU-PF officials are fuming. They say the union has stopped representing workers and started auditioning for opposition rallies. But honestly, who can blame them? With the way things are going, even the workers need a party of their own just to demand electricity and dignity. Critics are warning that Marimo might be turning into the next Morgan Tsvangirai, and ZANU-PF clearly hasn't healed from that trauma. Still, the hypocrisy is delicious. The same ruling party that politicized schools, hospitals, and even church donations now wants the ZCTU to stay neutral. Neutral in Zimbabwe? That's like asking a fish to stay dry. Meanwhile, in the ruling party's own backyard, members are whispering what everyone else already knows, but no one was supposed to say out loud. That ZANU-PF is hated. Yes, hated, not disliked, not misunderstood, hated. During small gathering in places like Mavuku, loyalists reportedly said the party must start including opposition figures in future campaigns just to look inclusive. Imagine that, a party so unpopular it now needs to borrow faces from its rivals just to sell the brand. It's like Coca-Cola asking Pepsi to help with its marketing because customers are tired of the taste. And while the politicians were busy calculating how to rebrand themselves, Finance Minister Mthuli Ncube decided to play Santa Claus for small businesses. In a rare moment of national kindness, he has scrapped 11 expensive business licenses and replaced them with one simple, affordable permit. For years, small shop owners had had to pay for a license to sell bread, another for the fridge keeping it cold, and another for breathing near the bread. Now Mthuli says one license fits all. A shop that once needed 11 government stamps now just needs one. It's revolutionary, almost suspiciously sensible. Fees that used to cost over $2,000 are being kept at $500, and tourism licenses have been slashed in half. For once, it feels like the government discovered something powerful: logic. Let's just hope this new ease of doing business doesn't end up being the ease of announcing things that never happen. And let's also hope that this ease of doing business will also extend to other sectors such as VoIP, because in Zimbabwe, a license for VoIP costs an arm and a leg, but to set up a VoIP business costs less than $20. But while retailers are celebrating, local drug manufacturers are crying into their paracetamol. Cheap imports from China and India are flooding the market, selling for half the price of locally made medicine. The problem? The government taxes the ingredients for making medicine, but not the finished pills from abroad. So it's cheaper to import the cure than to make it at home. Dr. Matthew Wazara says the system is upside down. If you bring in paracetamol, no duty. But if you import starch to make paracetamol, you pay. Brilliant. Only in Zimbabwe can we tax production and reward importation, then wonder why our industries are dying. It's like putting rocks in your own shoes, then complaining you can't walk fast. Meanwhile, the First Lady Auxillia Mnangagwa has offered her own national solution, the whip. Yes, you heard right. Speaking on her Gota Nanga program, She blamed the ban on corporal punishment for the rise in indiscipline, drug abuse, and teenage pregnancies. Her advice: parents should go back to traditional discipline and, quote, whip the legs. To make sure you understand this very well, the First Lady is advocating for child abuse. The same government that bans corporal punishment in schools is now encouraging it at home. The circle of confusion is complete. Auxillia says children's rights have made kids too free and that freedom is now the country's biggest problem. She is not entirely wrong, except that most kids today are not lazy. They are just hungry. Try whipping that out of them and see if the hunger goes. And in Bulawayo, Deputy Health Minister Slemani Kwidini wants more nurses trained to fix the country's broken health system. He told graduates at Mpilo Hospital that nursing diplomas should now become degrees and promised to slash hospital fees, even saying x-rays could drop from US $20 to just US $2. That's the cheapest x-ray in the world, unless of course you count the free one you get when the hospital machine isn't working. Kwidini also exposed a few fake doctors in the system, one with a fake O-level certificate. At this rate, some of our surgeons might have graduated from WhatsApp University. Over in the courts, Pastor Dumisani Mawoyo, better known as Pastor Dumi, was arrested for allegedly assaulting and threatening to shoot his wife after a fight over school fees. The same man who preaches forgiveness reportedly tried to deliver his own version of divine judgment. He is out on US $50 bail, proving that mercy really does exist, at least for pastors. Then, tragedy struck far from home. A Zimbabwean woman, Angela Madzika, working on a cruise ship between Greece and Italy, reportedly jumped overboard. Friends say she was heartbroken after her husband sold their house and remarried while she worked overseas. Her story is a painful reminder that for many Zimbabweans abroad, chasing the dream sometimes means losing everything that made it worth chasing. Across the Limpopo, South Africa's courts are now allowing rhino horn exports. Yes, horns. The judge ruled that conservationists can sell them legally, saying it might help fund protection. The government quickly distanced itself, saying it won't support trading wildlife body parts. So one arm of the government says sell the horns, the other says save the rhinos, and the rhinos of course are too busy running for their lives to comment. And in Gaza, the so-called ceasefire is beginning to look like a pause button that doesn't work. Israel has reportedly allowed only a quarter of the promised aid trucks into the strip while continuing airstrikes. Over 200 Palestinians have been killed since the ceasefire began. The United Nations says the routes are blocked and the aid convoys are crawling through war zones. So basically, the only thing flowing freely in Gaza is more bombs. And in sports, Liverpool fans finally remembered how to smile. Mohamed Salah scored his 250th goal for the club as the Reds beat Aston Villa 2-0, ending a miserable losing streak. Coach Ancelotti thanked the fans for singing even when things look bad. A lesson for politicians back home: people might forgive failure, but not arrogance. In the Castle Premier League in Zimbabwe, Scotland has clinched the Premier League title when they thrashed Kwekwe 5-1 today. Dynamos also moved up from the relegation zone when they beat Bikita 1-0 through a penalty. And yesterday's results were as follows: Chicken Inn 1, Caps United 1, Herentals 0, Yada 1, Manika 1, Ngezi Platinum 0, MWOS 1, Triangle 0, Simba Bora 1, Highlanders 1, Teo 1 1, Green Fuels 1, ZPS 1, Platinum 1. So tonight, between workers turned politicians, ministers turned reformers, and pastors turned fighters, Zimbabwe remains what it has always been, a country that turns chaos into content. And as we sign off, remember the only thing harder to regulate than a Zimbabwean business is a Zimbabwean opinion. But here at Zimwaves TV, we'll keep saying the quiet part aloud. Subscribe, share, and give us your comments in the comment section below.